The supreme prayer of my heart is not to be learned, rich, famous, powerful, or even good, but simply to be radiant. Hey, everybody. Happy New Year. It is January 3rd. Already lost count of the days. January 3rd, 2025. It's a brand new year. It's an exciting time. It's a new beginning for a lot of us. It's a fresh start. It's a clean slate. And, as we embark on this journey of navigating a new year and trying to turn a new leaf, we have to come into consideration as to how we're going to make these positive changes and, coming to terms with who do we want to be and who do we want to embody. Something that really affected me was this passage that I read from Elbert Hubbard, who was an American writer and philosopher, and I happened to come across it in this little nifty scrapbook here. This is a scrapbook that my great grandmother Emily Pratt put together. And she was an extraordinary woman. She was the first woman to go to Cornell, I believe, and study music. She was a music teacher for most of her life. She traveled all around the world solo. Just had a remarkable, adventurous spirit, one that I know that is definitely in me. And so I have her to thank for that blessing and curse, I guess you could call it. I was going to say, I got this from my great-grandmother. I actually stole it from my mom. So sorry, Mom. I'll give it back to you soon, I swear. But in this scrapbook, essentially, is all these different writings from philosophers, there's scriptures, there's poems, all kinds of stuff. So here's kind of a glimpse as to what she put together. And there's so many gems in here. In fact, I might just do a whole series of reading these maybe on a daily basis. But the one I'm referencing in particular today is titled Golden Thoughts. And for anybody who feels stuck in life or down and out or, just trying to find a guideline for how to live life, effectively, purposefully, and, joyfully, to have some kind of a reasoning behind being here. I think that this perfectly encapsulates a good life. And it goes like this. The supreme prayer of my heart is not to be learned, rich, famous, powerful, or even good, but simply to be radiant. I desire to radiate health, cheerfulness, calm courage, and goodwill. I wish to live without hate, whim, jealousy, envy, fear. I wish to be simple, honest, frank, natural, clean in mind, and clean in body, unaffected to say, I do not know. And I say that a lot. Trust me, I don't know. That's where true wisdom comes from. If it be so, and to meet all men on an absolute equality, to face any obstacle and meet every difficulty unabashed and unafraid. I wish others to live their lives too, up to the highest, fullest, and best. To that end, I pray that I may never meddle, interfere, dictate, give advice that is not wanted, hello, or assist when my services are not needed, hello again. If I can help people, I'll do it by giving them a chance to help themselves. And if I can uplift and inspire, let it be by example, inference, and suggestion, rather than by injunction and dictation. That is to say, I desire to be radiant, to radiate life. By Elbert Hubbard. I mean, I feel like I would do an injustice just by trying to add on to that. But there's a couple of key takeaways there as far as what it is to be somebody who radiates life. And I think that we project what we focus on. I had this little, excuse me a sec, I had this little eyeball. I got this Halloween from a friend. She brought a bag of these. And it was interesting. It kind of corresponded with a message I had heard in church that Sunday about letting your I be singular. And I'm going to read a passage here. Let's see. So it's Matthew 6:22-23. And it says, when your focus, aka the I, is singularly directed towards God, goodness, and light, your whole being reflects that light. However, when your focus is on negativity, evil, or distractions, your being is consumed by darkness. That's kind of a synopsis of that scripture, not verbatim, but essentially it says, yeah, if you keep your eye on things that are good, you'll be full of goodness. If you keep your eyes on evil and the darkness and the negativity that we are constantly bombarded with in this world, then you will be full of those things, and that's what you're going to be projecting. I think it's incredibly important to be aware of your surroundings, to be aware of what your inputs are, whether that's through media, through the food that you eat, through your surroundings, to take note of these things, how they make you feel, how they affect you. I know we live in a day and an age of the 24-hour news cycle, which is something that is completely new. And I think that it's having drastic effects on people negatively, who are completely inundated with information that is not very useful, for one, but also that is completely distracting, and it's debilitating because you see all the suffering in the world and you think, like, what can I do to alleviate this, to alleviate these sufferings, while I'm also trying to stay afloat in my own life? How do I navigate this? And that's not to say to turn a blind eye to suffering. There's so much injustice in this world, whether it be through war and famine and racism, and you can name it, right? There's all kinds of things that are affecting humanity that we have a duty to address. However, we can't do it all, and you can't pour from an empty cup. And my thing is that feel free, if there is a cause that you feel so passionate about, to tackle that thing and to put your energy into that thing, if that's where your heart is. But you also, again, have to focus on what is good in this world. And there is so much good. But again, when you train your attention to see those things, you will see more of it. And when you only train your attention to see the bad, you will only really see that. There's so many people I know in life who they wake up in the morning and immediately they put on, CNN or Fox News, and they go to sleep listening to the news. That I couldn't think of a worse way, first of all, to live your life, but also to just be completely, again, inundated with useless information that only brings you down. And, again, like I said, the whole news cycle, this is a new invention, right? Before, we used to get the daily paper, and so you had, the chance in the morning to kind of catch up on what was happening in the world, happening within your community, and then you went about your day. Before that, you had, a weekly blurb, and before that, it was like, it was word of mouth, and, you may have heard of a war that happened 3 months ago, and as the news is just getting to your town, and whoever could read would read off, okay, this was happening over, and blah blah blah, but your attention and your awareness was within your own community and the needs within your own community. And I think that to really have an impact in this world is to be a player in it and be a player in your world, to where you are completely focused in on your surroundings and the needs of others who are within your sphere. And when you're providing acts of service and kindness to those people who are in need, that is the real butterfly effect that will start reflecting the world as you want to see it. When you decide to bring beauty into this world, when you decide to bring your own positivity and your own gifts, your own creativity, this is how we make a better world for everybody. And so with that, my call to action is to take note of what's happening within your surroundings, to start becoming aware of your inputs, to be diligent in eliminating distractions. For one, I am a doom scrolling addict at times. I can be completely enveloped with social media, Instagram, yada yada. And I find that when I do discipline myself in setting boundaries with that, whether it be sometimes deleting the app on my phone and the only time I can get on it, I have to re-download the app, or there's different apps. I'm blanking. There's one I just downloaded that helps in maintaining your focus. It'll kind of track what you're doing on your phone, and it'll say, hey, you're being lazy and distracted, and you need to get off this and go do something positive with your life, which I really love. I'll try to link it below if I find out which app it is. But it can be overwhelming, and I completely understand where people are coming from. Where, again, it's hard sometimes to get away from the things that are happening and the chatter. I had a discussion the other day with somebody, and they were telling me about the events that happened. There was an attack here recently, and many people were innocently harmed and killed in this just vicious attack. And it's scary to think that people are, first of all, capable of that, but that there might be more people out there like that, who are harnessing these same desires to harm people. And again, that could be something that we focus on out of fear, or we can decide to learn that we can only control what we can control, that we will be aware of our environment. If we see something that is needed to be addressed, we will do that, to try to circumvent any further evils. But at the end of the day, to truly make an impact, again, is to live a fulfilled life, a life of meaning and purpose, a life that brings light and joy and passion and beauty into this world, that make people want to be a part of it and not wanting to expel from it and to expel others, or to promote the darkness within inside of them. And the light will always defeat the darkness. It will. This is my first attempt at making a YouTube video of this caliber, of just kind of sharing my thoughts and insights and wisdom. I've been through a lot this last couple of years. Let's just say last 5 years. I had a radical awakening in 2020, just before 2020, a spiritual awakening. My journey has been insane, to say the least. I've moved to Texas for a little while. I was in Dallas. I was in Austin. I moved here to LA. And a lot of this was just by divine appointment, by me being led by the Spirit to make certain moves. I've had to do so many acts of obedience and trust falling, and just believing that what was resonating with inside of me, what I was being called to, was real. That I had to forego and forsake a lot of things in my own life. I had to make so many sacrifices, whether it be sacrificing relationships, potential careers, you name it. But I've grown so immensely. And the thing that really stuck out to me in this passage, or this writing by Elbert Hubbard, was the fact that, like in the Bible, it says that a prophet is not known in his own home. I have gone through such incredible changes and transformations, and by no means am I perfect, or am I even there yet, have I arrived, but I'm so much closer, and I've shed so many layers. And the thing is, like, when you go through these circumstances, that you start leveling up and you start seeing what you can be capable of. But not only that, you see that in others. And it can be really disappointing and frustrating when other people don't see that within themselves, that they don't see that they have the ability to change, that they have the ability to live an extraordinary life. And you desperately want to help these people, but you can't help them unless they want to be helped. You can't force your ideologies or your perspectives on people who don't want it. You're only going to cause more division. And I've been through that. I've suffered through being around loved ones and doing my best to, preach at them. But that's, nobody wants that. Like I said, it only drives more division and angst and frustration because, they don't see you how you see yourself anymore. When you have a new perspective and a new identity, it can be hard being around others who want you to be the old you. They have expectations of how you used to be and how you used to operate, and so sometimes it can be, you can feel strange. You feel like a stranger, even around people who you knew your entire life, and it's like, you knew me then, but I had to introduce you to the me now, and I'm sorry, but he's here to stay, and you got to get used to it. So the thing is, to not be overburdened with helping those in need who don't want it, and that you have to just keep walking your path and staying in your truth and in the light. And eventually, at one point, they will see. And when they're ready for it, they will come to you. And you can be that beacon of truth and light and hope, and someone who can actually make a positive impact on their life. Sometimes it just takes time, and until you get that recognition. I mean, there's nothing worse. I can't tell you the amount of times where I've shared something, and I'm really into health and wellness and eating right, and how changing your diet can vastly improve your life and your mental clarity and mental health and spiritual health, yada yada. And I'll share these things that I've personally have gone through and done, and all the benefits that I've reaped, and then it just falls on deaf ears and nobody cares. And then, like 6 months later, you'll get somebody share a video of some rando on YouTube saying the same thing you said and giving it to you like this is news to you. Are you? I've been telling you this, but again, it's that's just how it goes, and you have to be okay with that, but also not be dismayed, because there are so many more people in the world who can use your help, who can use your services, who can use your expertise. So this for me is a turning point in my life. On paper, I'm doing terribly. I'm going to be real with you. Like, there's, I feel I'm so behind in so many different ways. Especially it's frustrating when you're capable of so much more. But I had to grow into that. And there's nothing worse than I would say immense wealth or great success before you're prepared for it. That's not a blessing. That's a curse. When you receive something that you are not prepared for, it can go up in flames so quickly. It can destroy you. So I am thankful to God that I've gone through seasons of extreme lack, of extreme poverty, of debilitating illnesses or states of mind, of doubt. I was really, really, really 5 years ago in an extremely dark place where, to the point I didn't want to be here anymore. And again, I know that there's a lot of people who may be watching this who may feel that same way. That may resonate with you. And I just want to hopefully be a shining example that life can turn around, that God can work miracles, that you are loved. Like there is an eternity after this. There is a world outside of this. And, I am extremely blessed. I don't know why this happened to me, but the fact that I had this spiritual awakening that has really become the anchor in my life, because I had a crazy experience. I'll share I'll share another time. But it transformed me and created me into a new person with a new purpose and a new understanding of life and the world and the universe and in the spiritual realm as well. And with that, it's given me a newfound joy and peace. And like I said, even though I don't have, it's like I don't have my own home. I don't have a car that I own. I don't have my own family, no wife, no kids that I know of. You know, I have negative dollars in my bank account as we speak. So I'm coming here not as a perfect person or a perfect man, but I come here in humble service and with great joy and expectation. Today I was walking, and I live here in Venice Beach, and I was walking on Main Street, and a lot of times when I'm on a walk, I'll kind of just feel like I get led to places, and I happen upon this alleyway, and in the alleyway, there's on the actual like street was this like winding road looking thing with these words that were written over it, and it said something to the effect of freedom is just a word for freedom is another word for. Oh my God, hold on. Bear with me, people. Oh yeah. So essentially, it's like freedom is another word for nothing left to lose, having nothing left to lose. And I feel like I'm at that point where I'm like, I literally have nothing left to lose and everything to gain. And if part of that can be me helping you and helping people within their own journeys, that's what I know I'm here to do. So I thank God again that I'm at this point in my life where I'm in a position to grow exponentially. I know that I know God's going to bless me, and my prayer, isn't to just be a rich guy and have cool stuff. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to act like I don't have these fleshly desires or I have material wants or needs, but at the end of the day, my prayer is that God would bless me in order to bless others. That's my purpose here. So if this at all resonates with you, please feel free to message me, send me a comment. And if you could like and subscribe, that would be amazing. I have so many different stories to share, and of just this last 5 years and the craziness that's been the life of Joshua Vigil. And so, yeah, I thank you for tuning in. I pray that God blesses you immensely in this year to come, that he covers you in peace and joy and love and understanding and wisdom, that 2025 is going to be the best year of your life, that God would favor you, his face would shine upon you, and to living a radiant life. So that pretty much encapsulates it. I thank you again for tuning in, and we'll talk soon. What is one habit you're going to adopt this year that's going to help you become more radiant in this world? Leave a comment below.